So it's been a pretty busy day today. So got a part in, got the carburetor in for a Craftsman that was sitting here, Craftsman Riding Mower. Got it put in. Had a weed eater here that he said it wouldn't run. It ran fine for me. I mean, I ran it for 15 minutes full throttle. You know, put the zip tie on the throttle, let it sit there and run. I started up several times, let it cool down, and it just never had a problem. So it had a switch, you know, shut-off switch that didn't work. So I fixed that because he was choking it. So maybe he was choking and flooding it. So I don't know, but he paid for it. And so, but then I've got another mower here, and these come in several different varieties, and it's MTD is what it is. But this Toro, Cub Cadet, MTD, forget what else. And these are, I don't know, kind of a pain to do anything on. I mean, you got to rip off the entire seat and shroud and everything just to get to the carburetor or the ignition coil, and then you got to rip off the back end here. And she says that the belt, that's why she called me, the deck belt is broke, but I can't see it broke. Of course, I'm not underneath there yet, because when she got it over here, she says, I think I smelled gas this morning. So she shut it off, brought it over. She said, can you check for a gas leak? So I set up paper underneath it to see if it would leak, and it wasn't leaking, but then I loosened the bolts on the carburetor and it just gushed out. So the float needle valve is probably bad, or the float is sticking, whatever it is. But the oil is also filled up with fuel, so it went right past it. So we'll drain the oil out of it also. But I got it tore down far enough now I can get the carburetor off. I left it on there on purpose, but then I'll change out that carburetor, get it running, and then I can worry about the deck, see what's going on with the deck. I went ahead and bought a belt just in case. I mean, I'll put it on there regardless because she wants one. And then she said she wants me to shut off the safety switch. There's a safety switch here. I'll see about that. I'm not too sure about that. So making myself some coffee. It's been a busy day and I didn't get much. I'm making instant. That's what we'll kind of do in the evening time. If we're still tired in the evening and we didn't get enough coffee, we'll do some instant. There's Skitty. I'm gonna sit in the clothes dryer, I think. So I got that apart. And then I returned the Craftsman, I returned the weed eater, and then when I returned the weed eater, he gave me another one, said, I messed up the head. I took it apart and I shouldn't have, and now I've lost the spring, and can you fix it? So I have to order a new head because the parts are just missing. And I've noticed that sometimes when you just order the little pieces that are missing, it costs more than just ordering the full assembly. So I went ahead and ordered that. And I mean, not too bad of a day. I struggle with people. I don't get it. So that Craftsman I picked up on Thursday. This is Wednesday. So last Thursday I picked it up. And I told him, I tell everybody, expect it to be at least 10 days. I've been getting it done sooner, but 10 days is kind of where I try really hard to get it done by 10 days. Because I have to order parts. So I tell everybody, paying cash, because we've already had people write bad checks, and I just don't want to do it anymore. It's too hard to chase them down, and I just don't have the time or the resources or the drive to go chase all that down. So just pay cash. So when I pick them up, I always tell them, you know, I'm a cash business, cash only business. If you can pay cash. He says, okay. So when I got it here, I called him up and said, okay, it needs a new carburetor, and this is what it's going to cost you, and it'll be cash. He says, well, I don't have any cash today. Well, I said, well, you don't need cash today. You just want to get it done, and then you can pay me. He says, okay, great. So it's almost been a week. It's been 6 days, and I call him up today, and of course, he is the hardest guy to get a hold of. He just, in today's technology, it's surprising how long it takes people sometimes to call back. You know, everybody's carrying their phones around. What are they doing with them? So anyway, I call him, and I don't know if anybody ever gets their voicemails anymore. I don't know if anybody checks them. So I text also, and I text him the same thing. Your mower's ready. Here's how much it's going to cost. Cash, please. And then I said, can you let me know when you want me to drop it off? So he replies back, okay, will do. What does that mean? Will do. So I reply, I don't understand your message. When do you want me to return it? And he never got back with me. So, I mean, obviously, will do means I'll let you know when I want you to bring it back. But that just seemed unacceptable to me. He was in a hurry for me to come pick it up. He was in a hurry for me to get it done, and now it's done. Oh, I'll just let you know when I'm ready for you to drop it off. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Seems to me he could have said, oh, can you bring it by tonight, or can you bring it by tomorrow? You know, whatever. Assuming he didn't have the cash. That's what I'm assuming. So here it is, almost 3 o'clock. I start wrapping up around 3 to 4 o'clock. You know, trying to make videos and just whatever. I mean, I start at 6 in the morning. As soon as day breaks, I'm out here working on lawnmowers. This lady dropped off her lawnmower at like 7. So, you know, I'm here early. So I figure, you know, 10 hours worth of work is a good day. You know, if I need to work longer, I will. Sometimes I come back out here, you know, 7 o'clock in the evening and work. About 3 o'clock, he messages back, I have your cash, bring that lawnmower over today. So he wasn't in a hurry to tell me when he wanted to drop it off, but he was in a hurry to get it as soon as he had the cash. I don't know, that just seemed weird to me. Of course, this guy seemed weird to me since last year. He brings this weed eater over last year and says, oh, I can't get the head off. That's what it was. Can't get the head off to restring it. So, I mean, I literally turn it over, and it's a reverse thread, and I reverse thread it. Oh, that's what you got to do. Well, he knew that. He had to have known that, because it was an older model. I mean, it wasn't like, you know, so he would have done it before. So anyway, we get that, and then I think the next day he comes by. I don't know how to start this chainsaw. Everybody says it's easy to start. I can't get it to start. Piece of junk. So, right there in the parking lot, I started right for him. So I literally had to show him, train him how to start it. Now, all of this is no big deal. I don't care. That's not the point. It just seems collectively he's like scatterbrained. So then he calls me for the lawnmower and the power washer. And he says the power washer won't start, and he's giving me this guilt trip about the power washer. I need to get this deck flushed, and it doesn't start. And it's like, I didn't sell it to you. It's really not my fault. I will fix it as fast as I can. So I run right out there that day, you know, to pick up the power washer and the lawnmower. So I go over to the power washer and I try to start it, and it's so hard to pull. I mean, it's just impossible to pull. So I go over there and I take the nozzle and I spray the water in the nozzle out of it. Psh! Walk back over, start it right up. It had too much pressure behind it. He said, I didn't know you had to do that. It's like trying to start a push mower in the tall grass. that blade is spinning, and it's got to fight all that. So you're pulling all that stuff with it. So he was completely baffled why that made a difference. That shouldn't have made a difference. That water has nothing to do with the engine. And I said, well, no, it doesn't have anything to do with the engine. It just makes it easier to pull because you got the pressure up against the engine. That has nothing to do with the engine. Okay, just make sure that the pressure's released before you start. Okay, but that just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so, and then we go over to the while we were doing the pressure washer, I checked the oil, because I always check the oil before I start anybody's equipment. I check the oil just in case it's empty, because I've had that happen last year. It was almost empty. So I checked the oil. He said, I did that. Okay, I'm just checking the oil to make sure it's not. What? You don't trust me? Yeah, I trust you, but it could have drained out on the floor. You never know what happened. So I said, heck, I'm blind. I have a hard enough time seeing it. So anyway, he's just, I don't know, just a real character. And so I loaded it up. And, then the Craftsman. This thing won't run. It's I forget what he said. Oh, it's surging. That's what it was. It's just really hard to run. There's something wrong with it. And he said, I don't know what's wrong with it. And they always say, I don't know what's wrong with it. Well, okay, that's why you called me. I understand. You don't need to. So he says, what was it? There was something really critical about that. Oh, I say, did you change the, is this fresh gas in the gas tank? He says, yeah, I put it in last year. I said, when I meant fresh, I meant this year. He says, well, how old, gas doesn't have an expiration date on it, does it? I said, well, yeah, it kind of does. You know, longer than 2 weeks, it starts to accumulate moisture in there and it starts to varnish. Well, I just can't see that happening. Not over the winter. Yeah, that's what it is. He says, so what do you think's wrong with it? Well, the gas is bad. I can smell it. No, that's just not possible. So what do you think's wrong with it? The gas is bad. So I said, well, the gas may have varnished the carburetor. Why would it do that? Because the gas is bad. I just can't see it. So I bring it back, and I've already diagnosed it. I diagnosed it at this place. I know exactly what's wrong with it, so I didn't do anything further to it. And I called him up and said, yeah, here's what the price is going to be. And he says, well, what's wrong with it? And I said, the carburetor is varnished. Why is that? Because the gas is bad. It was yellow. It should be white, clear. No, that's just not possible. I mean, well, okay, it's not possible, but it is. So, you know, physics have changed just for you. So he was a real character, and I just find people really strange. I just don't understand. They say they don't know anything. That's why they're calling you. And then all of a sudden they know everything. It's just, I always find that stuff strange for some reason. It never makes sense to me. So I'm going to jump off here a little early because I'm pretty beat and I'm going to drink my cup of coffee, my instant coffee. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel, and it should be a brand new video today. So if I can inspire you to stay busy, so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.